so I had to restart my stream. Eh, bored. Wait, is something trying to attack me? Dude, this is the most annoying thing to happen in video games. Just randomly doing stuff, and then oh, it was a bird. It was a bird. Well, it was the cause of the noise. So, how many did they add more bosses since you played? Where'd you fight the boss at when you played? Yeah, this compost bin is really slow. Yep. Where'd they go? I could have sworn I had some seeds. Got me some crunched donuts. Damn. One of these one of these guys followed me. What the fuck? Just let me out. Shit. Just finish off already. Shit. So how high of a level would you think Truden would have to be to take on a level 20 raptor? No, a Truden. About level 102. Think it'd be a good fight? I haven't been able to attain anything other than the spitter, this big lizard looking guy, which I named Nami. He's it's a Moss Chops, and I also Ping the Dodo. And that's all I've been able to tame. Sure. Not yet. Yeah, that's how I tamed Mosshead. Well, at least I don't have to waste the points to unlock the trank arrows. Because I got no, no. You must no, 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 no. Leave me alone, please. Don't want it, Danny. This thing is level 105. Oh yeah. Ear Earlier, it said I started overheating, and no matter what I did, I was just overheating. I swam to the middle of the water, was still overheating. Yeah. Oh,
This just makes Apollo mad. He realizes Birkin is acting arrogant because he thinks the top 30 guilds have his back. Apollo decides to use that against him and makes a call to a very fancy-looking noble to join the band. This rich guy is Heavy, an officer of the Big Smile Guild. Heavy answers the phone, annoyed that his meal is interrupted, asking what the piggy wants this time. Apollo bluntly demands a favor. He wants Heavy to teach a player called Tahoe Mask a lesson. Heavy asks who that is, and when he realizes it is just a rising rookie, he is insulted. He asks if Apollo is serious about directing a top 10 guild to pay revenge, just because Hercules didn't apologize for something. Heavy tries to refuse, saying the Big Smile Guild doesn't get involved in such small affairs, but Apollo plays his trump card. He threatens to pull his sponsorship, reminding Heavy that his money is the only reason they're a top guild. Heavy's attitude flips instantly. He nervously laughs, thinking that Tahoe Mask sounds terrible, and promising to handle it immediately. He hangs up and screams in frustration, cursing the fact that he has to bow down to money. He knows attacking a popular rookie will ruin the guild's image, but rejecting the sponsor would bankrupt them. Just as he is spiraling, the green-haired lady from earlier arrives. This is Jo, a reserve affiliate who desperately wants to be an official member. She asks if she just needs to eliminate Tahoe Mask. Heavy realizes this is perfect. Since she isn't an official member yet, she can do the dirty work without blowing back the guild. He asks if she can handle it, and she promises to pay him back for saving her life by taking her down. Back at the battlefield, the NPC Captain Fable announces that the gates are open. He explains the rules. The area outside is a lawless zone, and the gates won't reopen for 144 hours. He then drops a bombshell mission called Blue Giant. Monster, and the reward is a unique skill book. A unique skill book is insanely rare, something he only saw a few times even in his past life. He thinks giving this out as a reward is honestly a bit too much. The crowd goes absolutely feral. Everyone realizes that to get the book, they need to eliminate the competition. Immediately, I turn toward Birkin, as one player shouts that the strongest rival among them is obviously Tahoe Mask. The moment the gates open, Birkin bolts. He's so fast he leaves everyone in the dust, thinking he just needs to beat them to the monsters. The other participants realize they can't catch him alone, so one guy suggests they chase him down together. But then Jo scouts him. When a random guy tells her to get lost because they want to take care of Tahoe Mask themselves, she effortlessly flattens him. She stands over the defeated player, looking terrifying, and asks why everyone is so on edge over a book she doesn't even care about. She proposes a deal. If they help her eliminate Tahoe Mask, she will give them the unique skill book. She points out that they aren't skilled enough to get it on their own anyway, so this is their best shot. The mob agrees, and Birkin looks back from a cliff to see a massive army of players teaming up just to take him out. He sighs, annoyed that there are so many bothersome people in the world, and realizes he has no choice but to go with Plan B. Jo is thrilled, thinking her plan to use numbers is genius. She starts fantasizing about her future success. Once she pulls this off, she will become an official member and have her own subordinates. Her imagination gets really specific. She dreams of a harem of handsome men serving her tea. She thinks about how she will be able to buy as much furniture as she wants, implying she views these men as literal objects. Her delusion is interrupted by a scream.
You know, I've always found this strange. People really want to save money, but some
Is that how I make it?
hard-earned coin into a 3-foot ball of disappointment. I want to be rich. You don't need to throw your money away. All you need is your phone. Oh. No.
The monsters are approaching, but there are way too many of them. The formation breaks instantly as a tidal wave of beasts swarms the alliance. The players panic, realizing this isn't a normal spawn. Jo wonders what the hell is happening. Then she hears a sound. She looks up to see Birkin sitting on top of his golem behind the monster wave, banging a gong and playing drums with his skeleton band. He's laughing maniacally, shouting at them to get wrecked. Jo is baffled, realizing that this absolute menace didn't run away. He ran ahead to lure every single monster in the area right now. Birkin grins, proving that if you try to team up against him, he will just bring his own chaotic orchestra to the party.
Ryan,
Grand Alliance is crumbling faster than a cookie in milk. Her makeshift army is getting decimated by the monster wave, and they are
what do I do to actually make it? I'm at the mortar and pestle, but it won't. It doesn't show up in the mortar and pestle. Wait. Yeah, because I was checking it. What if I just do?
Jo interrupts his concert, challenging him to a one-on-one duel. Birkin smiles, asking if she really thought he would agree to that, considering she is the ringleader of the mob trying to eliminate him. They clash swords, and Birkin gets straight to the point. He asks if they know each other, because he figured out why two people once talked to each other.
Yeah, that's where I put these the spoiled meat and the narco berry. Yeah.
And suddenly throws a bone bomb right at her face. Jo pulls off a crazy acrobatic move to dodge it, and Birkin notes that someone that level still doesn't see. He demands to know which group she is with. Jo decides to stop playing games. She tells him to find out for himself and activates a slot on.
It just starts glowing.
He won't get answers, but if he holds back, she might actually leave. He decides to play the honorable knight. He orders his skeletons to stand down and pop.
Yep.
Jo's shocked, looking at him with pure disappointment. She thinks he is shockingly naive for a top player, and decides that naivety will be the reason he gets sent to the respawn together. She is pursuing tremendous attachment to all enemies. Birkin is struggling to keep up as she lands cut after cut, drawing blood. Jo gets a little too close to her. She starts blushing with a creepy anger expression, whispering about how he looks collapsing into the perfect chair. She shouts that he should regret going against Heavy to make the trick. The skeleton knight, who was definitely ordered not to interfere, casually sticks his bony foot out. Jo trips over
I can do it now.
losing her balance and dignity. She is confused, wondering what just happened, while Birkin grins maniacally. He catches her slip of the tongue immediately. Then she mentions where she is with the big smile guild. Cuts to later, where Cho is tied to a tree. Thoroughly beaten. Herkin drops the axe. He asks why Big Smile is targeting him. She refuses to answer, so Herkin drops the lore bomb. He asks if she is a kill Woron, and his direct subordinate. She starts sweating bullets, nervously trying to deny it, but her poker face is terrible. Herkin figured it out because, in his past life, she was Heavy's most famous henchman, though he keeps that detail to himself. She tells him to just finish her off already, but Herkin refuses. He says it could be a waste to let someone like her just die. Internally, he plans to leave her tied up there to rot until the timer runs out, so she doesn't respawn and come back. But Cho interprets this differently. We see the world through her delusion filter. Sakura petals fall, the music swells, and Herkin's threat transforms into a flirtatious confession. She blushes furiously, thinking, he dares to flirt with me? He's convinced that he is sparing her because he has a crush. Disclaimer, this absolutely did not happen, but she is living in her own romance anime. Later, Joe calls Heavy to report her failure. Heavy tells her to rest, but the second he hangs up, he screams in frustration. He tries to think positively, hoping Apollo won't find out. But because the universe hates him, his phone rings immediately. It is Apollo. The Guildmaster already knows everything and warns Heavy that if he states out that a top 30 guild lost to a rookie, there will be consequences. Heavy heats up, feeling his soul leave his body. He curses Herkin for held him back, wishing for him to crash and burn. Back on the battlefield, Herkin suddenly sneezes and scratches his arm, wondering why he suddenly feels so itchy all over. Herkin is lying on the ground, puffing and puffing like he just ran a marathon while carrying a fridge. He complains that defeating the blue giant took 30 minutes of full power because the level 85 boss had the HP of a level 100 monster. He realizes that if the other players hadn't messed around and got themselves killed, they might have stolen the kill. He briefly wonders if he should be thankful, then immediately dismisses the thought with a hearty fuck you all to his fallen enemies. He ponders why the Big Smile Guild is after him since he hasn't crossed paths with them in his timeline. He recalls that in his past life, the sudden rise of his guild threatened the top 30, leading to a massive conspiracy led by the Thunder Queen, Household Young. He wonders if she is behind this too, but quickly gives up thinking because it makes his head hurt. He decides on a simple philosophy. If anyone gets in his way, they die. Checking the timer, he sees there are 138 hours left, and decides to spend that time making some serious cash. 138 hours later, the gates open, and the surviving players shuffle out looking miserable. One of them curses, admitting they messed up big time by listening to Joe Woron. Herkin, meanwhile, is being carried out on a literal throne by his skeletons, surrounded by piles of loot like Aladdin after finding the Cave of Wonders. He approaches the guys who tried to kill him and mocks their empty hands, asking if they really returned without a single cent. The players are furious, but Herkin starts, even in the supermarket. In the shadows, Joe Woron watches. She found that next election would be out of making hers, blushing furiously. Through her delusion filter, Herkin looks like a flawless prince instead of a greedy goblin. She corrects herself, claiming she just wants to kill him, but it is way too late. She is down bad. Herkin shudders, sensing something weird in the air. Suddenly, the main NPC, Bagel, announces the #1 contributor. He calls for Necromancer Herkin to come to his office. Herkin is thrilled. In the office, Bagel praises him for defeating the blue giant and drops some lore about blue-skin monsters peering from beyond the ice mountain. He expresses a desire to send an expedition to the frozen kingdom. Herkin is bored out of his mind, picking his nose while Bagel talks. Bagel asks if he is listening, and Herkin lies, thinking he already knows the map is over the mountain. Bagel then mentions the reward, and Herkin's interest goes from 0 to 100 instantly. Bagel calls him predictable, but hands him a letter from his master first. The letter orders him to head to the Ergo Mountains and talk to a blacksmith named Wolf. The reward is unknown. Herkin groans, realizing the Ergo Mountains are full of high-level monsters, and wondering if Wolf just wants to live. Then, Bagel clears his throat and hands over the real prize, a no-name silver. Bagel warns him to treat it with care, but Herkin is already smooching the book like he is his long-lost lover. He excitedly wonders what cool, strong skill he will get. He uses the book, and the system announces he has attained the skill. Play. Herkin chooses.
Lately, DirecTV's been showing some major range. With genre packs like My Entertainment, you get a collection of channels and apps that fit your taste. What you want? Finally!
Speak. Repeat the name in distress. Meanwhile, the Thunder Queen is absolutely losing. She unleashes an attack so powerful that we're demanding to know who stole their kill. Hatch tries to calm her down, explaining that a mysterious creature out of nowhere has stolen an A-plus monster right from under their noses. The Queen is furious that someone outside the top 30 guilds dared to interfere. She orders Hatch to put a bounty on them and vows to kill the thieves herself, glaring with deadly intent. Cut to a chessboard where Queen is knocked over. A man in silver armor, Richard, complains that stealing the target of the Thunder Hunters was too dangerous. A lady with purple fringe and a giant snake, Mikhail, tells him to calm down, explaining that the Thunder Hunters were clearing faster than expected. Richard asks if they are targeting Hydra next, and suggests just killing them all. We are introduced to the Hand Guild, a secret organization aiming to adjust the game's balance from the darkness. Their leader is Singlet, the rich-looking executive we saw earlier. He reminds them not to forget their goal. A weird guy with a giant eyeball for a big sweeper, or something unintelligible. Then, a girl with silver pigtails named Momo raises her hand. She teases Singlet, asking about Haho Mass, and pointing out that Herkin is clearing the main quest so fast because Singlet failed his mission. Singlet, clearly annoyed, because their priority is stopping the top 30 guilds and promises to deal with Herkin later. Nikhal tells them to cut the chatter and heads to the next mission, declaring that everything is for their master. Here's a symbol, Herkin calls more games. We rejoin our boy reading the description of his new skill, Play. It turns out this isn't just a funny name. It allows him to transform his golem into a monster by using monster byproducts as an offering. Herkin realizes this means he can transform his golem into any. Herkin stares down at the pathetic little creature, utterly confused. The system helpfully informs him that his skill rank is too low, so the transformation is less than 50% effective. Our boy is beyond annoying, cursing his stupid game as he realizes pets were rare even in his past life for a reason. He decides to focus on the main quest instead and heads to Ergo Village. His mission, meet the famous blacksmith NPC Wolf. Perkin knows Wolf well from the lore. He's the guy who crafts epic items. Our boy arrives at the blacksmith's house, hoping for some sweet gear, but finding the room empty. He calls out, "Excuse me," but gets no answer. Suddenly, then, a fist connects with his face so hard he flies across the room. The system spams messages about loss of HP as Perkin curses, wondering who the hell attacks people in a safe zone. The attacker stands over him, grumbling that rookies these days are weak points. It's Wolf, the blacksmith himself. Perkin, stunned, asks why he got punched. Wolf picks his nose and replies that it was a test for the room. Perkin is furious, calling him a shit NPC for attacking without warning. But then the system pops up with a notification. You've obtained the title, first to talk with Wolf, job stats plus 25, and first to survive against Wolf, HP plus 25%. Perkin's rage instantly evaporates. He realizes he's got 2 amazing titles for the price of 1 punch. Wolf starts complaining about how impatient kids are these days, but stops when he sees Perkin's face. Our boy is looking at him with literal puppy dog eyes, making a heart shape with his hands. He declares, "I love you, Wolf," like a fangirl like talks. He lets Wolf slay, offering to do laundry, clean, or even lick the boots. Wolf, understandably creeps out, kicks him away and tells him to deliver a pouch to the Vine Forest. Kicked out but happy, Perkin checks the new quest, deliver the pouch to those who reside in Vine Forest. He realizes this means elves. The problem, elves hate humans and hide very well. In his past life, people make maps to find them, but those don't exist yet. He decides he has no choice but to find information. Cut to the Ergo Village Town Square, where he is banging a gong and shouting that he will pay up to 100,000 gold for info on forest. It's embarrassing, and people are whispering about him, but he thinks he's better than wandering aimlessly. Suddenly, the crowd goes silent. A barefoot man with long hair walks in, carrying a gigantic dead lion with one hand. He stands like a saber-toothed tiger and the aura of pure violence. The crowd whispers in fear. It's Pitbull Singh, a top 100 ranker known for ruthlessly beating his enemies. The bystanders start gossiping, then the Pitbull will crush Combo Master with one hand. Perkin gets annoyed, shouting at him to shut up, but the skeletons hold him back from starting the fight. Pitbull approaches Perkin and says he knows about the forest. Perkin tenses up, suspecting a trap. He asks for the price, expecting an exorbitant sum for the wolf. The tension is thick enough to cover the net, and then Pitbull blushes. The terrifying blood-covered warrior suddenly looks at him. Sakura petals drift around him as he bashfully admits, "I would like to confess my love." Perkin freezes. The crowd freezes. The entire world seems to stop. We cut to a visualization of the scene. Pitbull dressed as a blushing schoolgirl and Perkin as the baffled schoolboy in a romance anime. Everyone is completely astonished. In the forest, our boy Perkin just ran a marathon, looking completely done with life. Pitbull saying, blaming him for the absolute chaos back in town. Apparently, Pitbull's little confession scene caused a riot, forcing them to flee into the woods to escape the paparazzi. Pitbull tries to explain himself, telling Perkin to calm down and take a breath, but Perkin cuts him off with a very serious, very awkward rejection. He looks a terrifying ranker in the eyes and says, "Sorry, but not my man, so I'll have to protect your confession." Silence descends upon the woods. The birds stop chirping. The wind stops blowing. Perkin stares at him, horrified, and gets absolutely disgusted. He shouts, asking what the hell Perkin is talking about, and clarifies that he never confessed to him. Perkin is speechless, realizing he might have misread the room. We get a flashback to Pitbull's perspective from a few months ago. Looking at it, as one does, he spotted a beautiful elf girl singing to a flute bunny. Pitbull claimed she was more beautiful than anything he had ever seen, and naturally, he fell in love instantly. But she vanished like a ghost. So, being the rational, high-level player he is, Pitbull decided to wait in the same spot for months, interrogating every local resident about the whereabouts. Back in the present, Perkin stares at him and asks the obvious question: "Doesn't that make you a table stalker?" Pitbull ignores the accusation, explaining that he is the first agent and is trying to find the town reports. Perkin realizes he is not ended up with an exhausting weirdo. To a waterfall, listening off the way for help are rumored to appear. Perkin stops him, realizing that these are his on and mark on the spot. Elves are understanding their dangerous area of schoolboy humans. Right on cue, a gigantic troublemaker rises above the trees, looking at our boy like a delicious snack. Pitbull offers to help, warning that the snake level is hot. Go on, help me talk. He shouts, "Who do you think you're talking to? I'm Haho Mouse," and leaps forward to solo the beast. He charges heroically and immediately gets smacked out of the air like a volleyball. Perkin hits the ground hard, leaving a skid mark in the dirt. But instead of getting up, he starts putting on the performance of a lifetime. He rolls around with a red nose and tears in his eyes, screaming, "That hurts so bad. I'm gonna die." It's such bad acting that...
Why choose between ones you love? With Kroger's same-day pickup and delivery, you can shop the same great prices you find in store, and we bring the groceries right to you, so you can catch more family time. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
The 10 months at the time was interesting in the moment and on the move. The snake looks embarrassed. Pitbull shouts at him to dodge as the monster prepares to strike again, but Perkin just keeps throwing a tantrum on the floor, yelling that this is the end. Just as the snake lunges, an arrow flies out of nowhere, piercing the beast and killing it instantly. Pitbull is shocked, but Perkin stands up and dusts himself off, dropping the axe immediately. He explains his plan. Unlike players, NPC residents run from monsters. But if they see a human being brutally murdered, or acting like they are being murdered, their hero instincts kick in. And sure enough, 3 beautiful elves step out of the shadows. Among them is Celine, the girl Pitbull has been waiting for. Perkin smiles, thinking his plan worked perfectly. He bows, introducing himself as the noble messenger of Lord Wolf, and asking to be invited to their village. The elves respond by pointing their bows directly at his face. Celine coldly notes that he deceived them. Her red-haired friend adds that humans are disgusting, greedy liars, and that there's no way Lord Wolf would send trash like them. Perkin panics internally, realizing that breaking through by force might fail the quest. He wonders how to salvage this disaster. Suddenly, Hippolyte drops to his knees beside him. Perkin thinks, oh no, what is this idiot doing now? Hippolyte looks up at Celine with zero shame and apologizes for the deception. He admits he had to beat her because he fell for her at first sight months ago. He extends his hand, asking for a chance to get to know her. Perkin is freaking out, thinking this is suicide. Elves already hate humans, and now this guy is admitting stalking and lying. He expects them to be turned into fingertips, but Celine just sighs and says, fine. Okay. Perkin's jaw hits the floor. The red-haired elf rolls her eyes, asking Celine if she really just got charmed by a human guy. Celine shrugs.
Do you think a Pegomastix is a carnivore or omnivore?
Perkin stares at the terrifying Pifflesing with a look of absolute judgment. This is supposed to be some kind
Did you say something about it? Okay. Uh, uh, I have to bring the dog in, but I'm afraid that this thing's gonna wake up and kill me. Access inventory. No. I used them all. I got one so far. Yeah. I just killed it. I gotta bring my aunt some food real quick. Hey, you just hit me.
You're Helena Walker. You saved the world.
And it took everything.
Do you know how I feel? Do you know what it's like to want someone back with you more than anything?
I loved someone once. Very much. Never let go. I don't think I can face death again alone.
Hear me! You found something real on the Ark, despite the loss and pain.
Giga Despotus, your master beckons.
I am back. Yeah, Chris is taking you instead. Hey, what? You have to be kidding me. I lost all my hydration while I was gone, and I left the world.
Just by thinking about it. Deep Base 44, a complete AI creation platform, made for anyone with an idea and a drive to bring it to life. Describe what you want and watch it take shape. You can plan, customize, and expand. Launching into a passionate monologue about how dark elves were always the essential icons of fantasy in the games and comics he grew up with. He claimed venturing across worlds with companions like them was his lifelong dream. Birkin just stares blankly, wondering what any of the smooth talk has to do with connecting to a random NPC. Pimple turns the tables, asking if Birkin doesn't feel the same way, questioning if our boy is also playing Warlord to fulfill a dream. Birkin scoffs, replying that he doesn't have dumb dreams like that. He declares that his only goal is to become the strongest and crush every single bastard who ever looked down on him. Creepy look in his eyes, admitting that just imagining their terrified faces gives him chills. But Pimple hits him with a sudden philosophy bomb, asking if seeking happiness by trampling on others doesn't make Birkin exactly the same as the people he hates. Birkin tries to brush it off with a cynical, strong devour the weak speech, putting in the bird for good measure. Pimple pushes harder, asking if that is really the only natural way. That is the last straw. Birkin punches the beastman right in the face. He snaps, shouting that dreams and happiness are luxuries for people who already have something. He screams that Pimple has no idea what it is like to struggle every single day just to survive or to lose everything in an instant. He's so furious that his puzzle mask literally dissipates from his face. hopes to find one remedy spawning elf in this entire region. He sits down, frustrated that solving the level problem just led to an information problem. Besides, he needs to buy information too, but he can't be too obvious, or the fields will swarm him like hungry birds.
So, does Ebola work on something as big as a Triceratops?
He imagines his players reading, calling himself the greatest genius alive. Suddenly, a voice from behind asks if he's the one buying monster as well. Frickin' spins around. It's for a second, but his smile promises. It's the chef, the guild master of the Red Bulls. We can flashback to the Red Bull games, where Chef and his latest sponsor are analyzing the reasons. The officer immediately realizes that I want spawn monsters as a switcher.
Oh, like the tripwire trap?
Chef go grab the goose that they created. Jeff smiles on it and clears through. He got the goose when it might have just been required spectacular. Instead of switching, cancel all previous plans and switch to damage. Algo Chef leans over him. Is exactly what you do. And Chef smiles, noting that he gets needing to admit it. Chef has physical skills beyond information rivals top guilds.
Yeah, I don't have stone.
He throws himself on the ground. By the big, scary Red Bulls. He puts on a performance worthy of a Razzie.
No, I think the next level I unlock stone.
Internally, it's super pitiful, and he's only nailing it. Jeff watches this display with a deadpan expression, and eventually decides to play along.
Sanji's level 99.
But then, Jim casually mentions 5 billion. Perfect reasons. 5 billion. His brain immediately short circuits. He stops acting and starts hallucinating cool cars and swimming pools of cash. Jeff shrugs, saying that if Birkin isn't the guy they're looking for, he can't force his money on him, and turns to leave. And Birkin's dignity evaporates instantly. He grabs Jeff. I swear. He thanks him for loving the Emperor of Solo play, completely forgetting that he is supposed to be a clueless newbie. Jeff tells him to cut the crowd because his witty expression doesn't match his words at all. Birkin is debating if he should just sell his soul right now, calculating exactly how much high-quality B5 billion one can buy. Jeff gets serious, asking if Birkin would believe the offer was real, warning him that if he refuses, he will be considered a rival and killed right here. Birkin's demeanor shifts instantly. He looks Jeff in the eye and declares that he won't borrow Lindman's sword. He states he will become the strongest on his own, even if it means dying today. He adds a nice little threat, promising that once he reaches the top, the Red Bulls will be the first ones he crushes. Instead of attacking, Jeff just turns around and admires him, noting that the ceiling is pretty nice. He casually drops the intel Birkin was looking for, Red Lake. He explains there has been an explosion of nuclear farm monsters there. Birkin is confused, asking why he would give intel to a rival. Jeff laughs, asking him what he is calling a rival. He roasts our board, saying the Red Bulls got no one and shouldn't flatter him up. Fire his solar spirit. Jeff starts to walk away, but Birkin isn't about to let him have his word. He shouts salt down, accusing that if the Red Bulls are avoiding his territories, they must be progressing through the road route of the main quest. Jeff stops, realizing Birkin figured them out. Birkin smirks, bragging that he has been gaining way longer than he's taking. Jeff stares at him for a second, and then bursts into laughter, wiping a tear from his eye. He tells Birkin that he looks like the kind of guy who gets called an idiot and scammed off him. This hits a little too close to home, and Birkin explodes, shouting curses at his back as Chev walks away. Chev returns to his subordinate, admitting the recruitment failed because the golden goose practically slit his own stomach before joining. He laughs, saying he's curious to see how far the guy can go alone. But his female officer is furious and shoots him out for letting a top prospect go. Later, Birkin arrives at the Red Lake under a blood-red full moon. He tries to act cool and mysterious, declaring that there is no one smarter than him. But his skeletons are completely ruining the vibe. They are playing in the sand and splashing water like toddlers on a beach trip, totally ignoring their
Hey, Ryan, are you there?
What is so interesting about Open? He tries to get back to work, planning to kill as many monsters as possible to level up. He feels a sudden wave of nostalgia. He knows past life when he used to play with party members, but shakes it off. He senses people approaching and orders his skeletons in formation. He spots a warrior, 2 mages, and a priest, thinking he is about to be ambushed. He prepares to strike first, counting down 3, 2, 1. But before he can give the order, the 4 players sprint toward him and bow aggressively. With tears in their eyes, they scream, "Ha-ho, Mask! Please help us!" Birkin stands there, confused and ready to attack, wondering why everyone in this game is so dramatic. Birkin crosses his arms, looking down at the group of grown men sobbing at his feet, and asks what the absolute problem is. They sniffle and explain that they need help hunting down corrupted great consciousnesses, but they can't do it themselves. When Birkin asks why they are so useless, they launch into a massive soap opera, claiming they are the second division of the Golden Brothers Guild. They wail that while the main guild is famous, they are basically the abandoned children, treated like leftovers. Our boy has 0 patience for this long-winded pity party, so he cuts them off mid-sob and demands a summary in 3 sentences or less. The guy panics and rushes out the explanation. If they fail this hunt, they get kicked out of the guild, so they are desperate. Birkin stands up, dusts off his pants, and delivers a cold, "I refuse," and a story. Naturally, the crowd completely loses their dignity, clinging to his legs and begging not to abandon them because they have nowhere else to go. Birkin, clearly annoyed by the extra weight on his leg, tries to shake them off and asks the only question that matters: how much? They offer 20,000 gold, but Birkin scoffs, telling them that is way too little and to get lost. Desperate, the leader hugs his leg tighter. which is honestly getting weird, and offers all the item rewards from the kill on top of the gold. Birkin pauses, calculating internally. He figures he needs to hunt corrupt monsters anyway, so getting paid for it is just efficient multitasking. He agrees to the deal, 40,000 gold plus all the loot, and warns them that it's final. The group bows repeatedly, looking at him with admiration and thanking him with tears in their eyes. But the second Birkin turns his back to demand the transfer. Their expressions shift from gratitude to pure murderous intent. We get a flashback revealing the grim reality. These guys aren't abandoned guild members, they are dead slaves to the Apollo Guild. They beg their master for more time to pay off their debts. But
I mean, we all do it. You see a line, have no idea what it's for, but your brain is like, should I join? It's brains.
Hey, let me follow you back. I gotta stand in a line.
Even funnier is that folks stick with insurance that keeps them waiting around to file a claim. Well, Broncos claim support is available day or night. I mean, I'm not FOMO about that, if anything. Excuse me, what are you waiting for? No one knows. You've got, you can pay. Oh, all right.
It feels good to step out front. It feels good to go.
Oh shoot. Was I expecting the second one? Frick.
The slaves are terrified, asking how they could possibly kill such a skilled player, but Apollo doesn't care. He lets them top quality gear and tells them to use a trap or attack head on. It doesn't matter as long as Herman dies. Instead with a chill and threat, if they fail, they will run again and return. Back to the present. The slaves are wait for Herman to get distracted by the monster, then rush him while the sword is down. They track down a target, level 120, corrupt great conquerors, which looks absolutely terrifying. While the slaves nervously prepare to back Herman looks at the giant beast and immediately falls into the nearest chip. He's helping move people working on its armor, and they can handle the rest, unknowingly giving them the perfect setup. Activates muscle modification and leaps onto the monster. He mocks the beast for being slower than he remembers, slashing away at it from above while the slaves watch him chop. He shreds the monster's armor with terrifying ease, proving why he is the emperor of solo play. Birkin announces that the body armor is done, and he's going for the helmet to finish off. That is the signal. The slaves scream now and unleash a barrage of fireballs directly at Birkin's back. Explosions engulf our boy. Strike 1, strike 2, strike 3, strike 4. The slaves celebrate, shouting that they finally got him and are free from their slavery. But as the smoke clears, Birkin is standing there. Fine. Smirks, telling them to figure this cheap something was fishy from the start. Turns out they're looking to save him, begging for money while every call provided by their master is dead. He feels he never trusted them for a second. Desperate to fight on the front lines, just to mess them. The season log show he activated scale stitching for defense, big heart for HP, and boiling blood for recovery, taking their betrayal effortlessly. Birkin summons his skeletons and dons his blue armor, declaring that he doesn't care if they are the Golden Brothers or the Garbage Brothers. He tells them to prepare themselves because they are all dead. The slaves are shaking in their borrowed boots, frantically shouting for someone to hurry up and keep them. But over the responses, asking if they are really sure they want to keep going with the charade. He finds out that the massive monster behind him might be a little upset about the whole situation, and the slaves turn pale as they finally realize the conquerors is looming right over them. Birkin cheerfully tells them to just accept their death because they are absolutely screwed. But suddenly, the system interrupts the execution with a notification that a corrupted elf has spawned nearby. The elf immediately sprints away like she knows Birkin down, and the 3-minute timer starts ticking down, sending Birkin into instant panic mode. He realizes this is terrible timing, but decides to act by throwing the gun brothers directly under the bus. One of the slaves keep conquerors busy with the skeletons and politely informs them that if they try to run, make sure their deaths are significantly more painful than whatever the monster does. The chase is on, and Birkin thinks capturing her now will secure his first place ranking in the main quest. But the clock is ticking down fast. Less than a minute left. He realizes she is suspiciously fast, even with all his last adjustments. Dodging the attacks effortlessly like she's in the main quest. With 10 seconds on the clock and desperation sets in, he decides to get creative. Crazy. He detonates a skeleton bomb right behind himself to use the explosion as a speed boost, shouting that he gave himself a blast, just to catch her. He catches her just in front, shouting got you. But the drama isn't over. Oh, something really different by spinning blood into flames. Screaming at her not to die on yet because he needs to complete the quest, and Birkin uses the purification circle. The item works, but the elf is still present. She hands him a crumpled piece of paper, and then successfully completes the smart test. He's scared of the empty spot, realizing the quest was just a suicide mission for her all along, and he's absolutely furious about the anticlimactic story concept. He reads the paper, which contains the incredibly helpful message he's writing, and he really throws a fit, cursing the game developers for this vague nonsense. Back at the boss fight, the slaves are crying for help while the skeletons are literally playing beach volleyball with the ball. They longer life with their battle happening. Just as the slaves scream that their swords are breaking and they are about to be crushed, Birkin crashes back into the scene with his skull left, following to save the day. The slaves weep with joy, thinking he forgave them, but Birkin starts the interrogation instead. He confirms that the Apollo Guild hired them because of their death, but realizes the high-tier unique items they are using actually belong to the Big Smile Guild. He deduces a 4-guild alliance is targeting him and decides he has no choice but to retaliate against this massive conspiracy. When the slaves ask if they are finally forgiven, he looks at them like they are insane and demands they hand over every single piece of equipment immediately. He wants a cherry on top. They now owe him 1 million gold a week, or he will hunt them down personally and kill them. The slaves are horrified, realizing our hero is usually scarier and greedier than the villain who enslaved them. We cut to the Big Smile Guild HQ, where an executive, Manager Jean, is enjoying a spa day with classmates. His relaxation is ruined, and a subordinate bursts in to report that Papa Mask is fighting back. Sean tries to play it cool, instructing them to claim it was a misunderstanding and talk it out. But then the second bomb comes. Unique items they lent to Apollo would appear on the marketplace at exorbitant prices, and the seller is none other than Apollo. The executive realizes it would be impossible to buy them back, and curses for them paying while our boys are being sold to the skeletons for volleyball and soccer. Murphy thanks the piece of paper request helper, expecting a pat on the back or maybe a pile of gold. But the elf just asks, credit and speed. Yet this refuses to let them do it. He doesn't trust them. They necessitate
I changed your stuff.
And holds up better to your toughest message, even when wet. Get more done with one. About quicker to interrupt them. Maybe we want to just like
Man, I was trying to tame something, which, is there a way to make your tamed dino just make someone unconscious?
Skeletons try to come mimicking the harem. Perkin spins around and screams.
Damn.
Not that he's jealous, not that he looks at it. He's trying to make his own harem drop. He has to believe in Taurus, and his frustration on the fun. Takes his anger out on it, slashing it down instantly while complaining that everyone treats him like a fool. He cries for a while but gets suspicious because he hasn't seen a single trace of the quest arc. He remembers Pitbull warned him that the Secret Guild oversees this place and wonders if he walked it through. Speak of the devil, the man approaches him, asking who he is associated with. The man declares Perkin an intruder and activates a field change, trapping him. A massive monster appears, identified as Corrupt Chimera 87, looking like a Frankenstein nightmare made of stitched-together corpses. He thinks Corrupt means it is related to the main quest and gets excited, calling it an energetic one. He orders his skeletons to attack, but the Chimera obliterates them in seconds. Perkin shouts curses at the thing for breaking his toys. His physical attacks aren't doing any damage. The system confirms that physical attacks are ineffective on the thing. Perkin watches as his skeleton monster is to explore his non-existent skeleton. He grins nervously, wondering how the hell he is supposed to defeat a broken monster like this. Perkin is sweating bullets, realizing that neither physical attacks nor magic seem to work on the strengthened monster. He thinks to himself that fighting this thing is basically suicide, since he has never faced it before, even in his past life. Deciding it is time to stop playing nice, he goes all out, activates the skeleton fragments, Captain's helmet, Slog, and Corrosion Spirit all at once. The skeletons charge in heroically, but the system immediately delivers the bad news. Skeleton warriors have been destroyed in a single hit. Perkin curses as the monster launches a frozen slash at him, forcing him to block desperately. He realizes that if his skeletons are getting one-shot, he's in deep trouble. But he tells himself he just needs to land one single hit.
Yeah, for the bigger ones, the boa doesn't help.
He gets slashed right across the abdomen. But instead of screaming in pain, our boy grins like a lunatic and shivers. It turns out getting stabbed is part of the plan. The contact allowed his crew to
For the bigger ones, the boa doesn't help.
charging up their fire magic in the back. He points at the immobilized monster and simply says, boom, the glitch is unleashed now, incinerating the target while Perkin complains that despite this little the system announces the quest Elf's Keepsake is complete and awards him the title Perkin's relief, but still annoying. See what the developers were thinking when they designed a monster that takes
I couldn't boa the Triceratops or the massive turtles.
Perkin panics, thinking, damn it, he's not dead yet, and admits he's in good state to fight. Then instead of attacking Perkin,
Unless you gotta actually throw multiple.
The power of corruption takes over again. The monster drops a tragic backstory, revealing he used to be a member of the secret order of the Sleeper. He explains that he was captured, brainwashed by the power behind suppression. Eventually becoming that monster. For his weakness and his failure to protect people. Birkin looks at the kind of figure who offers some surprisingly wholesome comfort, telling him that he is the strongest opponent he has ever fought. He reasons that the guy
Game and bow is a baby triceratops.
Internally, Birkin has a moment of massive regret, realizing that if he hadn't given the purification circlet to Yelp earlier, he could have killed this guy right now. Monster smiles, calling Birkin a good person and saying his lack of empathy. He fades away, leaving his legacy to his junior, and the system announces the completion of the pieces of the piece. Birkin looks down at
I'm
the
sure
on the floor and
it just shakes it off.
because he didn't have surgery. He screams, I've passed for 60K this game, completely ruining the emotional moment. Meanwhile, in a much fancier location, the Thunder Queen, Shira, is throwing a tantrum. She demands to know why Aho Mask is working with the Red Bulls instead of her, claiming she can give him everything he wants. Her subordinates are terrified, whispering that she isn't just trying to recruit a player anymore. She's obsessed with Aho Mask himself. They have a bad feeling about this and suggest retreating for now. But suddenly, a man with glasses appears out of thin air. The Queen asks when he got there, shocked that she couldn't even sense him. The mysterious man from the secret organization ignores the tension and asks if she wants him to get rid of Aho Mask for her. Instead of being offended, the Thunder Queen flashes a terrifying, maniacal grin, clearly interested in the offer.
Don't take slow for an answer. Secure the dub with Superfast Optimum. Enjoy 99.9% network reliability and blazing fast 1 gig speed so you can finally stop getting wrecked. Click it. Now, when you get a Jimmy John's sandwich, you can have any bag of chips and a drink for only $1. You know, 4 quarters, 10 dimes, or 1 trillion pennies if you love counting. Whatever, $1. You get it. Jimmy John's. Oh, that's good.
You're Helena Walker.
Yeah, because my hair's everywhere. I forgot to mute. Wait, wrong thing.